What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the No Butts About It Water Cooler. I am your host, Josh Butts. If you're new to this segment, if you're new to the show, this is the video where we recap what happened on Monday Night Football. Last night, the New York Jets played against the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football, and the Chargers won in a game that their defense was able to fluster the Jets offense early on, and the Jets just never recovered. They never showed any signs of hope in the game. It was bad. If you're a New York Jets fan, I'm sorry. Well, Zach Wilson is taking most of the blame. He is the perpetual punching bag of the New York media, and meme accounts, of course, are making fun of him. FanDuel got in on the action a little bit on X. It just wasn't a great game to be Zach Wilson. Stan the Jet fan did say in our Monday Night Football preview that he thought the Chargers were going to make Zach Wilson's life hell, and they did. While Zach Wilson didn't play his best game, he received no help from anybody on his team. The offensive line was once again reshuffled in New York, like it has been most of the season. Rookie center Joe Tippmann, who we had been excited to watch, got his first start at the position. Didn't look great, but he was being attacked by guys like Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Tui Peludo. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong all night. The Chargers defense was able to get Zach Wilson down on the ground and sacked 8 times. Now, of course, some of the sacks were on Zach Wilson. He held onto the ball for too long at times, tried to extend plays that just weren't there. But a lot of the time, he just did not have time to throw. Plays didn't have time to develop. The other thing was Zach Wilson would throw the ball and get it the completion, but it would be dropped. It would hit people right in the chest. Alan Lazard had quite a few drops. CJ Uzama, who I'm a big fan of, had a big drop. It just was not a great situation for the Jets in the passing game. Garrett Wilson, who is a phenomenal wide receiver, also had a fumble. The turnovers were terrible. They had as many turnovers as they had third down conversions last night, which was 3. Alan Lazard also had some pre-snap penalties that caused some big runs from running back Breece Hall to be wiped off the board. Not like Lazard at all. I'm sure he will kind of bounce back from that, but this entire idea that Zach Wilson is the reason they lost this game just isn't true. I think even if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback last night, they would have struggled to win just because this team was not meshing on the offensive side of the ball. So, just all around, the Jets' offense was terrible. Let me just get that straight. However, on the other side of the ball, the Jets' defense played lights out. They honored Darrelle Revis, who is going into the Hall of Fame, is a Hall of Famer. So last night was a great night for the Jets' defense. Before we get into that, though, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps us out. It helps more people get to see this content, and it helps us get to do what we love. Now back to it. Other than the special teams punt return defense for the Jets, the defense played pretty well. That special teams return defense did give up a huge punt return touchdown to the Chargers, but the rest of the game, the Chargers offense really wasn't that good, and it's not as good as what the box score might have you thinking. Justin Herbert had a career low 136 passing yards. He only completed 53.3% of his passes and had no touchdowns. Zach Wilson technically had better stats here. He had a better completion percentage and he had more passing yards. He did struggle with some turnovers, but Justin Herbert continues to underimpress me personally. He's supposed to be elite. Those aren't elite numbers, even though he still pulled out the W. However, Keenan Allen was still able to get over half of those yards, and he had 77 yards on the night, which also allowed him to eclipse 10,000 yards in his career as a Charger. The only other person to do that for the Chargers franchise is Antonio Gates, who is a Hall of Fame level player. Congrats, Keenan Allen. That's insane. And you know what? You did complete that goal on an insane phenomenal one-handed catch that was a beautiful analogy for your career. It was, I'm going to get a photo of it like right here because that was a beautiful catch. And I love that that was the catch. He got 10,000 yards on, signed the ball, gave it to his mom. What a guy. Keenan Allen. But aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot. The Chargers also had some issues with drops and couldn't get the run game going. They tried to get the ball to Austin Eckler, and he dropped it a few times. And Austin Eckler is another guy that I really like. He just didn't have a great game in the passing game last night, in my opinion. He did have 2 touchdowns last night on the goal line. He's really good at getting those. Glad to see that coming back off the injury, but he still averaged only 3.5 yards per carry. I like to see him improve that because I think he can do better. I know that he can do better. I think he knows he can do better. Just got to keep giving him the ball. Austin Eckler is one of those guys who you just keep feeding him, and he is going to get it done. It's just coming off that injury and a weak passing game last night wasn't necessarily the time to do it. That's all for this week's water cooler analysis. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. What did you think about those teams' performances? Is the awful Jets offense to be blamed on Zach Wilson? Do you think it's all his fault? Would Aaron Rodgers have won this game? Is the Chargers' pass defense finally getting it turned around? They were 31st going into last night, so not great. Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.
Thanks for watching that video, guys. If you want to check out a most recent full episode of No Buts About It, that's going to be right over here. Yeah, right there. Check that out. And if you just want to see more short clips, we're going to have one right over here for you to watch. Check out No Buts About It on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts so you can listen to us on the go. Once again, have a great day and go do something nice for someone.